Name one great person that achieved something great on their own.
You cannot wash your face with one finger. You need the whole hand.
You know, anything that is great also comes with great headaches. Teams are one of those things. If your team are struggling with like bills and, you know, the basic necessities, even the vision kalam is going to be tough. Because this guy is like, I hear vision, but man, fundamentally, I need to feed my kids. Then people want to feel like part of like what? A movement. And then you have this spiritual intelligence, which is the end where they actually feel like we are changing the world. If any of these three components are missing, you're going to struggle.
Punishment. Like, how do you punish in the household? And I think it's so important that when a man makes a line, if the boundaries are overstepped and you've done everything, and I mean done everything, and you've sought counsel or not, bro, be ready to sack her.
If you're not ready to walk away, you're not in a position of leverage.
How do you make her know that in her bones?
Simple shit.
Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Guys, welcome back to Chai with my Bai. This is the podcast for the leaders of the Ummah in the 21st century and beyond. How are you guys doing today? Today we've got a very, very important discussion to have. For those of you that are leaders, remember every leader has a team. Whether you are a CEO of your company, whether you are the head of your masjid or of your local da'wah project or non-for-profit initiative, or whether you are the head of your household, right? You are a leader and you have a team. Now, you will only be able to achieve the goals and the vision that you hope to achieve in accordance to how effective your team is. And one of the most important things that you need to do is to ensure that your team is highly motivated. Because a team that is not motivated, whether it be a household, or your employees, your staff, or that be your masjid, or your da'wah organization, or even ISOC inside your university or your MSA. If your team is not motivated, they will not be able to perform. So, inshallah ta'ala, by the end of today, you would have received a masterclass on how to motivate your team. And I have a very phenomenal panel here for you. And I don't believe that I could have gathered a better group of brothers to help communicate this point. We have number one, Fawaz, the Live by Design CEO provocateur. He helps train CEOs and their teams to perform at a high level. We've got Brother Sam, who has built, Allahumma barik, a fund with $100 million of Muslim money invested in real estate with a team of tens, Allahumma barik. And you got me and Bakr, we're on the same team. And we've been beefing, working, tripping over each other, trying to fix this very issue, which with Allah's permission, I feel like we've made, you know, huge progress in being able to fix. So we've got that real life experience in being able to kind of share our thoughts on that with you. So without any further ado, Fawaz, why are teams even important?
Yeah. First of all, I'd just like to get a bit vulnerable here, Sheikh, and say, I get it. If anyone struggled with teams, it's me.
Mm-hmm.
Alhamdulillah, I started quite young as well. And sometimes you're even managing people twice your age, right? Sometimes you're managing people who believe they know far more than you, right? Who maybe aren't confident in your leadership. Maybe people who you feel like, you know, why am I the only one who wants this to work? You know, why am I the only one who actually cares? And maybe these guys are just incompetent. Maybe it's the right. I've went through the fire, rehire, hire, refire. I've went through everything. So if anyone gets the pain behind it, I believe I do. And I believe there's nothing like it when you, as a leader, you're genuinely trying to get something to work, but you feel like these people aren't aligned with you. And that's what I believe the word that should be used. I believe motivation is the wrong word. I believe it's focusing on team alignment.
Okay.
I believe alignment is the key thing here. When the team is aligned, automatically motivation becomes a part of it. But what are the importance of teams? I mean, come on, who ever built anything great on his own? You know, your team is the one that allows you to be able to reach higher realms, right? Behind every great man, he has to have some sort of team, some sort of people that work with him. And if you look at it like this, you only have certain hours in a day. You only have certain calories you consume, which leads to the amount of energy. Again, the amount of energy you have is limited. So you can't achieve great things with what? With that time. So we talk about leverage. Effort multiplied by leverage is what gets you results, not effort on its own. One of the greatest forms of leverage, of course, is what? It's people. It's a team. It's labor, right? So teams are absolutely essential towards building anything great. But I believe that there's a great pain. You know, anything that is great also comes with great headaches. And teams are one of those things.
I actually got a beautiful analogy from my sheikh once upon a time. He said, you cannot wash your face. He was looking at us we were students at the time, and we were all operating a da'wah project together, and there was some dissension and tension between me and one of the other brothers. And I remember the Sheikh looked at us and he said, remember, you cannot wash your face with one finger. You need the whole hand. So a team, and a good team, an effective team, will definitely allow you to do more things and help you go further than you can yourself.
I mean, answer this question. Name one great person that achieved something great on their own. Completely on their own. No team, no companions, no subordinates, no one underneath them, no one with them. They just did this something all by themselves.
Furthermore, even these solopreneurs, it's a lie. He has teams.
He's got
He has a team behind him. Yeah.
Elon Musk had an entire team. Like he's not solopreneur. Like,
Since we started making content for righteous and rich entrepreneurs, I've gotten so many messages from brothers who've been inspired and want help making money online. They're hungry for financial freedom so they can seek knowledge, do hijrah, and live life on their terms with Allah's permission. But here's the truth. I can't help you. I personally only work with 7 to 9 figure entrepreneurs. With that said, there is one brother that I trust more than anyone else that helps beginners start their online businesses with Allah's permission. In fact, I've sent him dozens of brothers already, and time again, he's helped them make consistent money online. Look, I have a lot to lose by putting my name behind someone I don't have full confidence in, but this brother, I've vetted him and his team and his method. I trust him with Allah's permission, which is why I'm ready to risk my 10-year plus reputation on telling you this brother, he will help you make money online, inshallah ta'ala. So if you're interested, go to the link below and you can apply for his mentorship. With that said, let's get back into the discussion.
you can mention anyone, but I'm saying, who had an impact on this earth? The greatest is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yep.
And he had I don't know if it was appropriate to call it a team, but he had his companions.
I'm happy you mentioned the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know what's actually to show you how important a team is. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam died, you know, all the other prophets, after they died, their people that came after didn't carry the flag, right? They started to worship the prophets who passed away. They didn't carry the flag forward. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, the moment the Prophet died, he said, whoever worshipped Muhammad is dead, but Allah, he doesn't die. And that, you know, that moment was so pivotal because that is when the messengers just died. No, I'm reestablishing Tawheed from this point onwards. And then Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, you know, he did something that had never been done in history prior to him. And since him, it's not been done. And it was literally that thing that he did was the reason why Napoleon lost, and also the reason why Hitler lost. And that was to open up 2 battlefronts with 2 major enemies at the exact same time. It's never been done before. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, he opened up Persia and he opened up Rome. 2 big superpowers at the exact same time. Hitler, when he was fighting the Allied forces, he then opened up Stalingrad with Russia. And the Battle of Stalingrad, when he lost that, is when everything started to what?
Yeah, domino.
Crumble. Likewise, Napoleon, he went to Russia, he opened up that front, and things started to crumble for him as well. So this has not been done. The only other person who done this in history ever was another Muslim general, another Muslim warrior called Muhammad ibn Abdul Karim al-Khattabi. Was a Moroccan ruler, and he actually opened up 3 fronts, the Spanish, French, and British Empire. The point that I'm mentioning here is that Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, he did what the other prophets' companions were not able to do. And show you the quality. Like, you know, Musa alayhi salam, when he went to Allah, when he went to the meeting with Allah Azza wa Jal, where he took 70 of his men, you know, he took his best men. He took the best of Banu Israel. He took his best men. And then they started saying, oh, we're not gonna, you know, believe until we see Allah. We want to see Allah. So Allah Azza wa Jal struck them and caused them all to die. And Musa said, Allah, are you going to destroy us because of what was done? بِمَا فَعَلَ السُّفَهَاءُ مِنَّا. Allah, these are the dim-witted ones from amongst us. I asked my Shaykh, I said, Shaykh, why is it that Musa is calling his best men dim-witted? He said that was the quality of the people that he had. That was the quality of Banu Israel. Even when you look at Isa alayhi salam, the disciples that he had, Allah tells us to be like those disciples. But those disciples at some points were very rude to Isa alayhi salam. They said, can your Lord, he's not your Lord? Can your Lord bring down a table spread from the heavens so we can believe you? Right? Like, that's how they spoke. And they were the best that Isa alayhi salam had. So my point is that shows the power of teams.
Furthermore, I want to touch upon a point on this.
Go on.
When you look at it, and this is the most it's so groundbreaking for me. You know, the Prophet ﷺ, of course, he had this vision. You know, many times he mentions the visions of the Muslims conquering Persia, you know, Rome, all of it, especially when he's in the trench, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at it, this is how you know the Prophet ﷺ was. It's wadih, he was successful. Because I ask people, when was the majority of, you know, the vision, like when did it come to be? Was it during his life or after?
Mm-hmm.
It was after.
Yeah.
If you look at it, it was after the death of the Prophet ﷺ that majority of these countries, these promises, these visions came to life. And that is evidence of a great leader.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the benefits, you know, I was in the table, Sheikh Ustad Abdurrahman Hassan, we're having dinner. And, you know, he looked at me and he starts nodding, you know, and I'm waiting for, you know, he's just out of nowhere. And he's just like, you know, be comfortable with knowing that whatever you want to achieve may happen after you die.
Mm.
But the key thing is, in order for that to happen, you have to build people who are going to carry the flag.
Mm.
All right? Carry the flag. If the mission dies with the leader, the team, the problems with the team, right? They weren't able to carry on. If you look at, like, when you look at Abu Bakr radiallahu anh, you look at Umar bin Khattab, Uthman ibn Affan, like, you look at these men and you think, you know what? It makes absolute sense.
Mm. And
then you read the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ. One of the great books I read was the 11 leadership qualities of the Prophet ﷺ. And you see that, wallahi, the Prophet ﷺ, yani, when we talk about multipliers and all, there was no one better at these traits than the Prophet ﷺ. I've studied leadership from the greats, Peter Drucker, all of these guys that I know. I'm telling you, studying the seerah taught me more about leadership than any other book I've ever seen in my life. Just how the Prophet ﷺ used to deal with his companions.
Barakallah fi. So we've established that the teams are very important. How do you motivate your team, Sam? How do you get a team motivated? Fawaz said alignment. How do you do that?
Yes, so alignment, I agree with Fawaz. And I think for every component of leadership, Sheikh, there's like two sides of the coin.
Mm.
One is the emotional side and one is the logical side.
Mm.
So you drive people with emotion that they want to like break through the wall for you.
Mm-hmm.
When that excitement is there, when that emotion is there, emotion is involved, then there will be exponential growth, right? With that excitement, Sheikh, then you put in the logical things in place that they need to follow. So the emotion needs to come first. If they are not emotionally attached to your vision, to your why, to the purpose, to that grand slam thing we're going to get to, even if it takes 100 years, but we're going to do it. Right? If they're not emotionally charged, Sheikh, you're going to see that the logical steps, following the systems, writing the business, whatever it is, the CRM, updating the notes, whatever it is, the logical steps that you need for your business, people are going to slack because the emotional component is missing.
Just the emotional component is foundational.
Emotional component is the first. Without that, Sheikh, they won't follow the logical steps of the business because there's no emotion.
It's interesting. I did a podcast with brother Ibrahim from New Capital Investments, and he basically invented a drink.
That's the brother that did the 9-figure exit?
The 9-figure exit, yeah, Allah. So he developed a drink in South Africa. Well, he purchased the rights for a drink that was kind of discontinued for like $5,000 and made it outperform Coca-Cola.
Wow, Allah,
right? And Coca-Cola did everything to try and destroy him and his team. And what they would consistently do is that they would offer twice the wage to his employees. And they would just turn it down every time. That can't happen, bro. Where a guy is saying no to double the wage unless there's an emotional element. Right? But just break that down, Sheikh. Like, emotion with regards to what? What do you mean?
So let's take So vision is emotion. Raising capital is logic.
Vision is emotion. Raising capital is logic.
Yes.
Okay.
Mission is emotion. Systems is logic.
So what's a vision?
So vision, Sheikh, basically if you close your eyes, what do you see in the world happening?
What's your
through your
vision?
efforts?
What's your vision with your company, with your team?
My vision is, Sheikh, we want to completely disrupt the system that's in Wall Street right now. And we allude to these systems in multiple podcasts. Basically, the only way to get rich is through riba. The only way to get rich is buy, borrow, die. And when I'm talking rich, I'm talking billionaire, billionaire and multi-billionaires, right? We want to completely disrupt that system where people start believing that it is possible to achieve true wealth that can actually have a difference in the world. like we alluded to one of the podcasts, they'll see it, I don't know, before or after, like to actually lobby, to actually bring people, to actually cause any sort of dent, that level of wealth, it is possible without riba.
So a vision in essence is the image of the world you're trying to create. You're trying to build a world where you can acquire wealth without interest.
That's how I look at vision.
Okay.
Yes.
And I can see how that will get people really motivated because there's religious implications, right? There's sense of you feel good.
Yes, that's when, Sheikh, now vision, the other logical side is capital. Now my guys are going to face rejections in raising capital. I'll face doubts in raising capital. But when that vision, the emotional part is there, we know what we're doing. We want to drive through the wall, through all the rejection that's out there. If it's rejection that we need to work on, we need to work on it today. We cannot wait for tomorrow. We need to fix it today. Why the investor did not commit. If it's out of our control, we pray to Allah, we move forward. We keep moving forward because the vision is so real. It's there.
And the vision / emotion / alignment, whatever you want to call it, it's so powerful that, bro, people can use it to evil ends as well. Like, look at how many cults there are in the world and, you know, these followings, and people do crazy things because they feel they're part of this group, they're part of this vision, they're part of this thing. They're willing to go to the ends of the earth and do all sorts of illegal activities and whatever else it might be just to...
I must admit, I do believe in extremes here. I've met leaders and, you know, we've worked with them. It's all vision. Like, shut up. Like, no one cares. Like, at the end of the day, if you don't put the correct steps in order to achieve this vision, it's just kalam. And that's what a lot of people go to one extreme. Then you have the other extreme of people who just like systems and everything, and I've put all these little things in place, but people, you have to understand there's the three kinds of intelligence. Now, two of them are quite popular. One of them people don't talk enough about, but it's recently coming out in study. But before I even get into them, you have to understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Are you guys familiar with it? So the bottom is where, you know, you have things like food, shelter. These are absolute necessities. All right. Then you have the next layer, which is then things people desire, you know, a bit more. Then you have the emotional layer. People want to be connected to human beings. And then you have the top layer, which is self-actualization, where you actually feel like you're building something that is bigger than you. Here's the thing. If your team are struggling with, and this is the hard fundamental truth, if your team are struggling with like bills and, you know, the basic necessities, even the vision kalam is going to be tougher.
Yeah.
Because this guy is like, I hear vision, but man, fundamentally, I need to feed my kids. Like, vision isn't going to feed my kids. Does that make sense? So then you have to take care of that side. Then people want to feel like they are, it's what we call psychoatric, right? They want to feel like they're part of like what? A movement. Like they're actually part of something, right? This is really important for people. People like to feel connected. Like, it's not just a company. Like, this is my family. Like, we're on the same path to something. Right? And then you have this spiritual intelligence, which is the end where they actually feel like we are changing the world. If any of these three components are missing, you're going to struggle with your team.
Repeat them again?
Right? So you obviously have to take care of their needs, right? Their actual needs, which is done, of course, through salary. And I always say a leader should be concerned about the things that happens in the life of his employees. It's another bad mistake people make with leadership. Then you have to have an understanding of what, like, they have to feel like this is a family. Like, you see this whole quiet Slack channels and, you know, people disconnected and working all like individually. It's a problem. You can't build a high performance team.
There's about culture there.
You have to have that culture. And the last thing, they actually have to feel like we are having a dent in the world, like we are doing something here.
So what I'm understanding there is a highly audacious vision, right? A highly audacious vision, a strong culture, and incentives.
Yeah. IQ, EQ, and SQ. IQ being your intelligence. Like, even animals have this. Animals need to what? They need food. They need shelter. This is, the farther you go up the pyramid, the more actual human you become, right? But the bottom layer is just everyone needs to be fed and sheltered, right? And then you move on to EQ, where it's like, emotionally, we want to be connected. But then it's SQ, which is the most powerful form. And there's studies now that are proving that spiritual intelligence is the most powerful form.
Is that?
Like, when you can, here's the thing, people mix spiritual intelligence and spirituality. Guys like Elon Musk, they're not spiritual in our sense. Yani, they don't have a deen or like, you know, a ilah or God they believe in. But it's like they have this belief in this vision this thing that they're trying to achieve. That's spiritual intelligence.
That's become their religion.
Exactly. It's become exactly their religion. But it's not a God in a sense like us. That's the difference between spirituality and spiritual intelligence. Those are two different things. Right?
Even there's atheists that say, I believe religion is good because it gives order, it prevents harms, it does this, it does this.
But there's also studies to prove that spirituality is the highest form of what? Spiritual intelligence. All right, which is why Muslims are able to do things that no one in the world can do. Right, they're willing to go to lengths no one else in the world will go to. So, if any of these three components
Can I ask you a question? What's your vision?
My vision, Sheikh, is it's all to do with leaders. Right, and the reason is I believe in a better world, but not by changing people, by changing individuals. I'm not trying to change the world. The world is due to what? Individuals. It's this way due to individual people. If I can influence and change the worlds of the most important people in the world, then automatically we get a better world, right? And I do that. Of course, it's all about what you're trying to do, right? We are trying to help the leaders, the most high performing Muslim men perform at the highest level in what they do. Why? Through mastering systems, living by design, all of these components which we teach. Does that make sense? So for me, Sheikh, the world is, my vision is a world where people live with absolute intentionality. Entropy is just, it's eradicated to the best degree. Chaos is eradicated. They're intentional. They're focused.
Why is that vision important for you?
Because if you look at it, why do you think I hate stimulation so much? Because stimulation is distraction. Human beings today, the ones that are in the best situations, the ones that are in the worst situations, the problem is we are distracted. There's too many things going on in life and it stops us from being actually able to achieve that vision. I work with guys who have the greatest visions in the world. You know why they can't achieve it? Because the chaos and the entropy, right? The things that naturally, the problems that happen in their life, it stops them from actually ever being able to achieve this thing that Allah would have changed the ummah. He's looking after this big mission. Who looks after him? We look after the CEOs. We look after the leaders so they can look after their people.
Let me ask you a question.
Just quickly, what's your vision?
First, I want to ask you questions related to this, and I'll ask all of you.
Because there was a point I was trying to get to. Okay, but go on.
What I was going to ask is, who do you believe is more important, the team or the leader? Just which one?
The leader.
Team or leader?
Leader.
Team or leader? Yeah, leader as well. Why?
The leader is the one who produces the team.
Okay, what would you say?
Look at the verse in the Quran. Allah says to the Prophet ﷺ, that if you were not calm and merciful with them, they would have not followed you. So it's evident, it's dalil that it's the leader.
The analogy that comes to my mind, obviously you guys know me, I love my cars, right? So I was thinking car terms. Team's at the engine, the leader's at the wheels. If a car doesn't have wheels but has an engine, it's not going anywhere. You can rev the engine as much as you want, it's not going to move. A car without an engine, it can move. It's going to move a lot slower than a car with an engine, but it will still be able to move. You can push it slowly. If you're going downhill, you can go faster. There's certain areas you can get more traction. If it's going uphill, you're really going to struggle.
Which is
and
why,
certain uphills, you won't even be able to go over them without the engine.
Which is why some scholars have said that 1,000 nights under an oppressive leader is better than one night in anarchy and chaos. Because one night, what the people will do without a leader? Well, they'll murder, rape, everything. You know what I'm saying? And also, there's a book called Good to Great by Jim Collins. Very good book. I recommend anyone who's in any leadership capacity, specifically business, to go through this book. I believe du'at and imams of masajid should go through this book. Right? One of the things that the authors mentioned, they studied like 5,000 different companies, bro. Right? And they looked at the ones that were the highest performing, just 15 of them in America over like a 50-year period. And they said that, bro, we actually believe that leadership doesn't have an effect. We were trying to disprove our theory because it came clear to us that there's a particular type of leader which they call a level 5 leader. And this is not a discussion on qualities of a leader. We can maybe do a different podcast. People can look at that. But it's a level 5 leader. And by the way, the person was a perfect example of that. Nuruddin Zinki, rahimahullah ta'ala, Bakr Siddiq, level 5 leaders, par excellence. I'm saying level 5 leader because we were looking at level 4 leaders. Level 4 leaders are irrelevant, but level 5 leaders is a unique type of leader. It goes there, the bang bang. But come back to the point of vision.
So for me, I want to help every Muslim. If I can get every Muslim, and that includes them, their families, their wealth, their influence, their power, their resources, their skills, out of the lands of the non-Muslims, into the lands of the Muslims. And I believe that will be a huge reason for a big change within the Ummah, without saying too much.
Beautiful, barakallah fi. So just so I can share my vision, people understand, we want to produce kings of this Ummah. So that, as in we want, we're not here to We're not here to become leaders. We're here to produce leaders, and leaders that will actually move the affair of the ummah forward, right? And that culminates and that manifests to a lobby, a powerful lobby of rich and powerful Muslims that we're trying to build. Now, why is it that I wanted to just demonstrate that for our audience? Guys, realize that every single one of these goals are way too big for the boots that we're wearing. You want to destroy and disrupt Wall Street, right? You want to take care of the most powerful men in this ummah so they can change the world. You want to bring all the resources that the Muslims have in the West into the land of the Muslims. I want to create a lobby, with Allah's permission, Tawfiq, that's going to be the most powerful entity of Muslims that exists on planet Earth, right? Inshallah, in one place. I'm saying these dreams are way too big for our boots, right? The reason I'm sharing this with the people is that this is the type of stuff that teams get behind. Teams don't want to just here to, clean the litter. No, people are innately motivated by massive things like this. There's a book that I was reading called The True Believer. It's by an anthropologist called Eric Hoffer, and he studied mass movements.
When I told them about the front page of that book.
It was the devil. He studies good groups and bad groups, right? And to show you how these mass movements were created. And I wanted to, because I just wanted to learn what I can take from this to develop my team. And one of the things that he mentions is that they all have a massive problem that they're solving in a massive way, right? And there is always a new world that they're trying to live towards. And he goes, if you look at a lot of mass movements and even a lot of religions, their vision is not just about a new world we're trying to build, but it's a new land we're trying to go to. Right? There's a concept of, like even the Banu Israel, when they were trapped under Fir'aun, it was of, don't worry, there's a land for you.
There's a promised land always.
Promised land. Even the Muslim, Hijrah, Al-Medina, we're going to go to Medina, we're going to go to... There's a concept of there's a new world. Even that's what the Zionists, how they sold all of these, the Jews that were scattered all across Europe and America. There's a new world that we're going towards. So when you want to give people a vision, if you can connect it to land, which is why, inshallah, one of the things that we're going to do, we're going to purchase a mountain. Inshallah. We're going to purchase a mountain for Muslim entrepreneurs and academics and mashayikh to live on.
We'll actually do it, inshallah.
We'll do it, we'll do it, inshallah ta'ala. Point being is that you need something big, yeah? And by the way, it's got to be authentic. Henry, by the way, this is, if you read the book Built to Last, it covers many case studies. Henry Ford, you know what his vision was, bro? His vision was nuts. He said, I want to make horses redundant.
Mm-hmm.
And he did.
Yes.
He did. He said, I want to make horses redundant and I want to domesticate the automobile. And he did, bro. When he released the Model T, 16 million Americans were able to afford what? Automobile. At less than half the price. My point is that these are
big, hairy, audacious goals.
Marriott. You know what Marriott's vision is? Their vision is to create a home away from home. I was in a Marriott hotel not too recently, and the manager was being a bit rude to me. I said to him, I said,
the vision of Marriott.
I said, this is supposed to be my home away from home, and you're not making me feel very welcome.
Out of curiosity, what was the context? What was the context?
But they were trying to charge me for a breakfast. They were trying to charge me for a breakfast. Then he said, sorry, bro. It was weird. Anyway, point being is that brothers, these visions that people want to get behind that, and you hire and fire based on this. Just before we jump back into the podcast, I need to share something with you that's been weighing heavy on my heart for a few years. For years, you guys have asked me, is there a real way to make massive, passive wealth without touching riba? And truth be told, I didn't have a good answer for you. Most options available just seem like riba that's been rebranded as halal mortgages. And if the option is halal, then it's usually too risky, too scammy, or too slow. And then I came across Brother Sam Amin, who has $100 million of Muslim investor money invested in real estate. And this blew my mind. Here we have a guy who's helping people become multimillionaires through investing in real estate without riba. When I heard about it, I didn't jump on the opportunity straight away. I actually investigated it. And I observed the brother for over a year. I met his investors that have made millions on the back of investing with him. One of his investors actually is an uncle who had humble savings that now have compounded into $7 million plus, Allahumma barik, in just a few years. His deal structure is actually amazing. You enter into a joint venture with him and his team manage it 100%. Within 2 years, you're expected to receive a 50% return on your investment, Allahumma barik, and there's no haram. It honestly got really emotional for me because we now have a vehicle that doesn't compromise your deen, nor does it compromise your ambition. So that's why I felt compelled to share this good news with you. So look, if you're serious about wealth creation and you have at least $100,000 liquid ready to invest and deploy within 30 days, and you want your money to move, you want it to multiply without any haram, then Sam's newest development project here in Dubai might just be your ticket to generational wealth. Now, if this appeals to you, it's important that you know that over $5 million has already been committed to this fund. And this round is going to be closing very soon, inshallah. I've placed the link to apply to invest in his fund in the description of this video below. Alhamdulillah, this opportunity is real, and so is the window. With that said, let's get back into the podcast.
Barakallah fiqh. Sheikh, I just want to emphasize, like, trust me, we've seen hundreds of companies, hundreds of leaders. I'm telling you, it's the team, it's the leader. I'm telling you, it's the leader. No matter how much, because this is where, again, we always talk about the paradigm shift. I need you as a leader right now to watching this to just accept, like, it's actually not my team. It's me. And nothing will improve until you accept that first.
100%.
Just, you have to accept that.
100%.
It's actually me.
100%.
And that's when you can make changes. And I love that you said we hire and we fire based off of this, because one of the worst things, and Peter Drucker famously mentions, right, culture eats strategy for breakfast. You can have strategy all you want, but if there's no culture, nothing happens. And you see people in the company, and this is a result of one bad apple, as we say. One person who doesn't feel culture can destroy the whole company. Right? Because then other people feel like, and you know, I always tell people can get a vibe, a sense of when you're not even really about your vision. When you just made it, it's just kalam. People, your whole team can feel like, he's not really on it. Like, he doesn't really care. Like, this isn't a thing that he's trying to actually build. So I encourage people to actually take a step back away. And there's 7 components, I don't know if you've looked at it, of building a story, a powerful story for the brand. The first one is the story. You have to understand what the story is. So this means, as a leader, you should understand why you started this in the first place. You have to be able to, like, get your team on board of this story of why this brand was bloody created in the first place. And people are there, I know they're thinking like, okay, I sell cups. How can I have a bloody vision for cups? Coca-Cola had one of the biggest things. They want to refresh the world. They said, we want to genuinely refresh the world.
And they sell you poison.
Yeah, and exactly. Like, my point is, no matter how silly what you sell is, and trust me, we have clients that sell some weird products. Like, they still, like, we got women's underwear, we got literally, like,
okay, that's enough.
bottles, like, we got weird things. But the point is, there's still a problem.
What's the women's underwear vision? I'm curious, I just wonder.
Comfort.
Trap your husband tonight.
We'll talk about that one. But no, seriously, it's wallahi, Sheikh, it's crazy. That and by the way, it's not like it's not sincere. There's a reason you started this company, and there's a reason you want to scale it. Just talk about why that is. You know, like, no matter how silly you believe it is, there's probably a reason behind it you haven't realized. So you need to have that. You need to have the story. Another thing you need to have, and you know, I'm not going in order here, by the way, one of the big things people forget is you must have an enemy. You must have an enemy. What is this thing? What are you guys fighting against? Who are you guys fighting against?
Yeah.
Who's the enemy? We said one of the ways to unite people is to give them a common enemy. Your team have to know what we're fighting against. We're fighting against the nonsense advice of you have to sacrifice your whole life and everything in order to achieve success or to grow your business. All of your other life domains have to suffer. We're fighting, you can just gun in business and, you know, this hustle culture. This is our enemy. This falsehood that's being propagated, that's the enemy. We have to fight that, right? And also, again, you need jargon. There must be jargon. Yani, these are terms that only people in your company understand. Like, primarily people in your company understand. One of the phrases we have, the brothers know, I don't allow anyone to sit on my chair, by the way, at my apartment. It's actually a qaida I have. And it came from the principle we have in the company. One of our culture, our values is own your seat. Own your seat. Meaning, this is your chair. You're responsible for this position. You own that seat. That's why I tell them, I don't allow anyone to sit in my chair because it's mine. And it's my job to own the seat and to take care of all of the pillars that make that chair mine. All right. So these are all important things. And I mentioned that I don't want to long the podcast out. I'll mention the rest as we go on. But my point is, if you don't have the key components for people to actually look behind you and be like, you know what? It's clear. No one's going to follow you.
No, Barakallah Feek, I think we've, the vision point is very massive, and that's why we spent so much time on it. I don't think people should look at this as like a pie in the sky type of thing. I would encourage people, just some reading materials, and maybe you guys can add on. There's a book called Built to Last. The whole book is about building visions. There's a book called Story Brand, goes through the SB7 framework. There's a book called Primal Branding. These are all books that help you shape the story of your business, that help you to just kind of make that vision more tight-knit. And if you had to pick one over the other, then Built to Last, I would say. Sam, you mentioned something that really was a powerful point. You said there has to be the emotion and then the logic, right? So what I understood from that is the vision, then there's got to be the mechanisms in place, like the practical systems that cause that vision to come into being. So what are these mechanisms?
So each component, Sheikh, and I'll just piggyback off of what Brother Fawaz mentioned. Let's take enemy. So the word enemy is the emotion, and we actually have it in our company. The logical side to enemy is competition. So you fuel your team with a proper, true enemy. Riba. We want to destroy riba. We want to destroy riba-based companies out. Okay? Competition is now, okay, how this company is doing it, how are they raising funds from the bank, how are they structuring the deals, okay, how do we make our product a little bit better returns, faster. This is where you analyze competition. So it's the same thing, but there's two sides to the coin. One is the emotional side, one is the logical side. And some people go like extreme on one side. Some people go extreme on the logical side, just studying competition, but there's no fire and soul to it. You're just studying what others are doing. Okay, so it's why are you studying what others are doing?
Competition is one. What else?
So another one is what we touched on is mission and system. So vision is that big vision. Then mission is, okay, now let's put it 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year, what it is. That's your mission. Now you have to put systems in place. Okay. How, again, people go to extremes. There is no mission. People don't know, okay, why am I even following the system? Why am I updating the note after every single call? Why am I doing this? Is it like, why am I doing this? Like nobody picked up. Why do I have to press on CRM? No answer. Nobody just picked up, you know? So if they are not aligned with the mission, the logical steps won't make sense. And from my experience, I see a lot of people, foundation, they miss the emotion part, right? And that's why the team, because we're talking about why the team is unmotivated, because they miss out on that. And it's not only vision, it's all of that. You know, it's the mission, it's the enemy. They have to clearly know who's the enemy, right? It's the culture. So culture is the emotional side of what? Supporting cast. Okay, so most people, okay, this is my HR manager. Like this is my HR manager, this is my finance guy, this is boom, done. There's no emotion to it. The emotion is culture.
For example?
For example, okay, so this is what they are doing. You know, how are they operating? For example, in our office, Sheikh, because, you know, in real estate, everybody has to be suited up. That's how we were in America. You just have to come suited up. Yes, that is the culture. You have to come, you're a warrior. Where's your armor? I used to tell people, bro, before 9 p.m., don't take off your suits. You got to be a warrior with shield, armor, swords, ready. When the call comes for war, it's not like, I'm on my PJs already. It's 5 p.m. My wife is home. I'm just watching Netflix with her. Okay, I'll schedule the showing for tomorrow. No. So this is part of the culture. Yeah, so the supporting cast is there. The agent is there to show homes, but the culture is not there. So they are not showing homes. You understand, Sheikh? They're not doing what they're supposed to do because the culture is not there.
Another element that Fawaz touched upon is the issue of ownership. Team know exactly what they're responsible for within their role. And sometimes a bad onboarding experience can even throw someone off completely. They don't even know what they're there to do. Like you told them this is your role, this is your title, but there's no detailed explanation of exactly what it is that you're responsible for. If you have a group chat with like 5 different employees and you say, this needs to get done in there, no one's going to do it because he's going to think he's doing it. He's going to think he's responsible. He's going to think he's responsible. And then at the end of it, you can't even say anything because you didn't make it clear whose throat you're going to choke.
And this is the biggest thing, right? This, you know, one of the things that you mentioned, Sheikh, that absolutely changed my life. I believe it was in the book as well, Built to Last. It says, Fawaz, you have to have the ability to zoom in and zoom out. You know, since the day you told me that, I'm not going to lie to you, everything's just been different in my life.
Alhamdulillah.
Right? Because again, sometimes as leaders, we're too zoomed out of like, I'm trying to build this thing, but like you have to take care of the little things before you can what?
Of course.
Get to the big things.
Absolutely.
So it's like sometimes the team don't realize why this tiny, small little element, like if you on the previous podcast, right? What did we mention? How the nail on the horseshoe led to the horse, led to the what? The night falling led to the battle being lost, led to the what? Kingdom being lost. A lot of people don't understand, and this is where I always tell, like, this is done in the playbooks of a role. This is what you must have for every role. It's a playbook. A playbook is so important. A playbook gives them the understanding of what exactly my role is. And in that playbook is inspiration. In that playbook, they understand the importance of the role. It's made for them. This is apart from like a whole company sheet. A playbook is for an individual role, right? So what people don't realize is, again, when you look at systems, right, we talk about the concept of holism, right? Looking at things holistically. If people really understood holism as a concept, they would understand why even a role that looks irrelevant is not irrelevant. Even if it's the cleaner of your company, wallahi, you better empower them. Help them understand. If we don't have a clean office, we can't focus. We can't focus. We can't close deals. We can't close deals. We don't have this big vision. If you make it small, yeah, then it becomes a brush and a pan. But if you make it big, wallahi, that brush and pan becomes what? Sword and armor to the individual. Do you understand? So there's ways to actually, and it's sincerity. These things, these small things that we view as small roles, wallahi, they're so important. So this is done in the playbook. I believe in having values, etc., for the whole company. And I believe in creating individual values that make a personal individual in their role. It's like their playbook.
Barakallah feek. We've struggled for a long time with motivating our teams, right? We hired a consultant last year who's a CEO of a marketing company. Brother Faisal, you met him before,
Yeah.
right? Around Bakr. And I remember he said something. He said, do you have a PDP, progress development plan?
People development plan.
People development plan for your employees? I never heard of that till today. What are you talking about? He's like, give people a clear-cut plan.
Path, yes.
A path, right? Tell them within 3 to 6 months, if you achieve X, Y, Z, right? Let them know exactly KPIs, measurable, right? Something where there's no confusion. I got it or I didn't. If you do 1, 2, 3, 4, you deserve this bonus, you deserve this pay rise, or this promotion.
Yeah.
Right? That's connected to an increase in payment. And subhanAllah, since we've done this, even though we haven't fully formalized it and fleshed it out the way we should, but it's been in conversations with our team. Look, guys, if you do this in 3 months, if you do this in 6 months, this is what you're going to be on financially, but also, these are the skills that we want you to achieve. So every 3 months, everyone's upskilling themselves in the company. No one in the company is the same man he was 3 months ago. And nor was he the same man 3 months prior. Every 3 months, they're upskilling themselves. So what this does is it creates growth, and people get motivated when they grow. Right? When they can see I'm growing, people smart guys will say no to a lot of money for growth. You know what I'm saying? That's delayed gratification. But also they can see like, okay, my money goes up as well. Or there are bonuses that are connected to this. And having that plan, 3 months from now, this is the KPI, this is the number, this is the target, connected to a remuneration model, right? Or something that gives them access to a remuneration model. Whilst at the same time, this is very important. Facilitating it for them. I can't just say I want you to increase revenue by 25%, but I just feed you, I just throw you in the deep end with no tools, no direction. No. I've got to facilitate that growth for you. But if you do that, I promise your team.
Train your staff. Train your staff. I don't know how many times I have to tell people, train your staff. If you're actually intelligent, if you're a smart person, you will understand that how good these guys operate, again, affects the company.
So I heard this for years, but I didn't know, right? I didn't know. You were the first person that showed me what it means to train your staff. Just break it. Like, what do you mean train my staff?
Perfect. So there's a couple of ways to train them. I believe, yes, train them on skills. But the vision, you can't just... A lot of the problem with people is the only time they talk about this vision and the mission is when they onboard them.
Yep.
Alaikum, yani, this is the vision, this is the mission, this is what we're about, and it never gets referenced again.
Exactly.
Every Sunday evening, I host a call with my team, right? And that goal, I'm not there to... I really, as a leader, I know what it is. It's indoctrination. I'm there to indoctrinate them, to get them to understand what we're building, what we're doing, etc. It's there because people forget.
Yeah.
Yani, our deen is wadih. We know why we practice Islam, but even sometimes then we become disconnected. Why? Because it's unless yani, Allah says what? Remind the believer because the reminder profits them. It's the same thing when you want people to be on a mission, on a journey, you have to remind them, guys, why are we doing this? And it's about teaching them how as well they can achieve mastery. Like one of the things that I went through my team last week, I literally explained to them, I goes, listen, like, we have to clarify something here, guys. I love all of you. You guys are literally like my family. You're my second family. And I sincerely do love my team. But I had to clarify them. Look, when we think management, we think Peter Drucker. When we think basketball, we think LeBron James. When we think football, we think Cristiano Ronaldo. If your goal isn't that your name is mentioned next to your field, I don't think you have a place in this company. Because that's what we're working towards, right? That's our version of ihsan. So if that's not something you feel, but it's not just about saying that. How do I teach them the path to having that?
Yeah.
And I said, listen, Ronaldo got to being Ronaldo because he was able to pass a ball. He was able to shoot. He learned how to shoot with his head. He learned how to shoot with his feet, his other feet. He achieved these things because he mastered the small elements. I goes, you can't even tell me what the pillars of your role are. It's a problem. How do you not know what the pillars of your role are? For example, Islam, we know the 5 pillars of Islam. Iman, we know the 6 pillars of Iman. If one of them are missing, you can't come with Iman. You can't say, you are a moment. Do you understand? If you don't believe in one of the pillars of Islam, you are not a Muslim. How do you not know the fundamental pillars? By the way, CEOs don't even know their pillars, by the way. Tried and tested. CEOs think they're meant to do tasks and oversee and say, yes, tick box, no box. That's actually not what CEOs are supposed to do. Conversation for another day though, right? But they need to understand that, okay, there should be some sort of equation that you simplify your role to. Some sort of formula that you understand X plus Y equals what? Z.
Right.
You understand, and the pillars. If I master psychology, مثلا, if I master communication, if I master keda, I become the greatest copywriter in the world. He knows what small elements he's going to need to master in order to, when we think copywriter, we think مثلا Ilyas. If a man doesn't understand his pillars, he can't achieve greatness in that thing. So again, these kind of lessons where you're explaining these things to them, you're reinforcing these things to them, you're telling them what it should be, but not just telling them what it should be, you're showing them how to achieve that. That's what I refer to as these weekly training sessions.
Couple of quick pointers on that, just to piggyback everything your brother said, mashallah. So the indoctrination of vision, going back to the vision, is so important, Sheikh, and also the PDP you mentioned. This is what will reassure them that their vision, which is also very big, their personal vision, can be encapsulated within the whole company vision.
Yeah.
So in order to, in order to basically reignite and keep reigniting in them, these Sunday evening meetings are so important. So when Fawaz says, hey, if your name is not associated with your field as the greatest of all time, I'm saying, bro, my vision was just to make 200K a year.
100%.
Now it fits and more fits in it.
100%.
What Fawaz has in store for me.
100%.
So that will push him to that Monday. He's not going to be part of that crowd who's like, it's Monday again.
Guys have taken significant pay cuts to just be on the team. Significant pay cuts. Because when people feel like there's far more progression and actually like, whoa, it's not just a company. This guy actually cares. And they feel like, whoa, I'm being basically paid to learn here. Like, this guy is paying me to learn. He's training me and he's still... Why would I go anywhere else?
It's human nature to doubt, Sheikh. It's human nature to doubt. I was just reading something important. That's why this is so important to keep doing that, right? You know, when Sultan Mehmed conquered Constantinople, the day of the conquest, literally like today the wall's going to break. Of course, nobody knows. Like today they're going to go and put their flag up, okay? That day, the prime minister of the country, of the Ottoman Empire, they used to Grand Vizier, okay? The Grand Vizier doubted. He literally wanted to put a mini rebel. He told the armies, like, all of you guys are getting killed. We're like, it's not going to happen, guys. You guys should tell the Sultan that we're not. That's it. Enough death. 50,000 of us died. This wall is unreachable. We're not going. The day of the conquest, your right-hand man doubted. So that same day, they actually conquered. It's not like they had a major impact, like, oh, we made progress. No, literally that day, the Constantine was executed.
And learn from the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ constantly, in the worst of times, used to remind the Sahabas, why are we doing this? In the worst, every situation, look, this is our end. Jannah, he's reinforcing, we're going to conquer Rome. You have to reinforce. You can't just build this PDF. Assalamu alaikum, guys. I told you in the beginning what. It has to be reinforced.
PDF means nothing, Sheikh.
It has to be enforced.
Do you guys feel like there's an element or there's a type of person who is immune to culture? Who's like, bro, this person's like a weed. No matter how much you
I was
water
just
it,
going to ask that.
no matter how much you water it,
So
you
there
need to
is-
just cut that weed.
Yes, Sheikh, there is. And the way to, again, just everything you guys have already mentioned, but the angle that I remember, easy to remember, GWC. Do they get it? Do they want it? And can they do it? Are they competent? All three. It cannot be 2 out of 3. It has to be all 3 out of 3. GWC. I think I got it from the book Traction. Get it? Want it? Can do it. So do they get the pillars? Do they actually get it? Like, what are they supposed to do? Do they get it? Okay, they got it. Do they really want it? After understanding the pillars, they're like, bro, now I have to be home at 5 o'clock. My wife's going to be mad. They don't want it. They get it, what's required of them. So step 1 is done, but they don't want to do what's required of them. And to each their own. They have different priorities, okay? Now, where most CEOs, like emotional ones, where we get caught up, they get it, they want it, but actually they're not competent. And we're just they're actually just not competent.
C's for competence? C's for competence?
C's for competence. Can they do it?
Can they do
So do they get it, want it, and can they do it? For example, Sheikh Fawaz mentioned on a different podcast about the finance, I have similar other issues. Like, I'm just not competent. Like, we can't be competent on everything. So now if somebody hires me to be their accountant, bro, that company, it's going to be a nightmare. I get it, what I need to do. I understand the pillars. I want it. Like, let's say I was an employee. I want to make your company great, but I'm just not competent in being an accountant. I just can't.
So then,
I'm in the wrong seat in the bus.
Yeah, so it's like you got married to a woman you're not attracted to, right? That can't really be fixed. You know what I'm saying? Like, that can't.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
That
So
can't be fixed.
there's an element. You know,
Yeah.
she's
There's only so much she can do.
right,
Only
she
so
can
much
lose
you
weight
can
if she's overweight. So the point they're making is that you got to then hire people of a certain caliber. Being a Muslim entrepreneur who's committed to making hundreds and millions of dollars through his business without compromising his deen, I can tell you this is a very lonely journey. But over the last year, I've realized that I'm not alone. In fact, some of the most sophisticated entrepreneurs are Muslims who fear Allah, and they watch this show. They attend our retreats, and they use their wealth for good. The issue is that they're all scattered. They're all alone. But inshallah, that changes once and for all on September the 6th. Because we're going to be launching our exclusive and powerful circle of Muslims making millions, inshallah ta'ala. If you make millions as an entrepreneur or have at least $10 million in assets through investments, then you qualify to join our waiting list at the link below. P.S. I just want to mention, money isn't the only qualifying factor, but it definitely is the first. So you can register your interest at the link below, inshallah ta'ala, and join the waiting list. With that said, let's get back into the discussion. Right? You got to hire people that, as in there's got to be a threshold. You can't really do much for guys that are just trash.
There's levels, I think, Sheikh, right? There's levels to the game, right?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The reason I don't tell people is like just splash out, and because majority of the times it's not that they're not competent. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
to
we're
you.
assuming a case where they're incompetent.
I know, Sheikh, but I hate saying it because people are just gonna be like, yeah, it's the competent thing. He's just not competent. When majority of times it's just you as a leader.
No, you're absolutely right.
First, you have to ask yourself, don't say, oh, my child, did I give my child the resources, the facility, the environment to become great? If that question is answered, you create the environment for them, you facilitated it for them, you built it for them, then, and only then can we say, you know what, it's a competence issue. And this is where I believe too many leaders spend too much time. I'm not going to lie to you. If I have to think every day if this guy needs to be fired or hired, he's just getting fired because it's cognitive load. It's cognitive load. I'm not spending time making a decision like that long. I brought it. Sometimes the things become clear. You just need to ask yourself, how do I have a conversation with the guy? And this is where I believe, especially in a team, you have to do one-to-ones. Even if it's not you as a leader, you have to have somebody who gives one-to-one support. It has to be.
Sam, how do you balance this with your philosophy of only hire tens?
So there's levels, Sheikh. You cannot hire only tens for everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's levels, because sometimes in some jobs, the willpower is more important than the skill.
Okay.
Because the skill will come if the willpower is there.
Okay.
And for some jobs, at certain levels of our company, like, I don't care what's your willpower.
Mm-hmm.
I just need this done, 10 out of 10, no questions asked. For example, my lawyer. I don't care what's his willpower. Okay, I just care if he's competent to get
result.
me from point A through Z, 0 hiccups. Not even that. 0 hiccups. I don't care what's his willpower. Does he believe it? No, I just want this job done to the highest level that even 50 years later, nobody can come back and say, hey, Sam, we got you.
Even though he's a kafir and he's not on board with the vision, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
He
matter.
just needs to get the job
Certain
done
things,
to the best level.
I believe key management positions, you're going to have people with vision.
Exactly.
Because it trickles down.
Exactly.
It trickles down.
Yep.
And this is something I want to talk about, right? As a leader, the chaos of your life is going to have a major effect on your company. Like your team, the chaos of your life. If you're late for meetings, if you're always, they always catch you, you're on catch-up mode, or it's the thing that is going to, you can talk all whatever culture, kalam you like. You can talk whatever, you can create the best systems as a leader. If your life is chaotic, problematic, or there's just too much things going on, or they don't sense the exact culture from you, forget about it.
So that one's clear. But that point about sensing culture, that's very powerful. Like there's going to be situations where you have to make decisions in your company, and sometimes they're not in line with your vision. Sometimes it's breaking one of your own values. People can sniff that from far away. Like if someone breaks a value, and by the way, a value is, bro, this is big. This is like there's like 6 values, bro. Like you
It's like the 5 pillars of Islam.
yeah, you've unless it was like a genuine mistake, or especially for guys that's a repeat offender, like you've got to make a
Example.
public demonstration.
Of course.
Do you know what I'm saying?
One thing Brother Fawaz mentioned, we didn't really elaborate on that, Sheikh, especially from middle management and upwards.
Okay.
If they're financially worried about their bills,
Yeah.
and it's not my responsibility to get you out of the hole, if you're in middle management, you have to be not coming in the company without any baggages and holes.
Yeah.
Then it's my responsibility as a leader, like every month, every quarter, every year, you're going to be in a better position, not only financially, in every single aspects of your life, as long as you're with us, inshallah. That's my job as a leader. But if you're already in a hole, it could be debts, it could be marriage problems. It's not like, this is not what I'm hiring you for. Especially middle management and upwards, because it's problems.
So I was a bit impressed when I read this book called The Magic of Thinking Big, and it mentioned that for certain companies in America, when they would hire people for like certain positions, senior executive positions, they would actually interview the wife. They wanted to see what the relationship was like at home, because they knew that if the wife, there's turbulence between the husband and wife.
Sometimes they even go and check your car, like the car is parked, they'll check
Really?
inside.
Yeah,
Because how you do anything is how you do everything.
I don't trust a man with chaos.
Huh?
Even pilots,
What about them?
before they fly, they have to do a pre-flight check. They check obviously the health, check if you haven't drunk anything. And they ask them as well,
How you feeling and
had any
everything.
arguments? Have you had anything recently with your,
Really?
with your spouse? Oh, how's
Surprise,
everything?
stress.
Whatnot.
Next performance.
Even in the army as well, certain ranks and stuff.
Wow.
Your commanding officer will have direct contact with your family. So if there's any issues or anything, they will tell you, because
Really?
you're in a position where, bro, you can take life and give life.
Yes.
Or not give life,
Not
astaghfirullah.
giving life.
Yeah.
But you can take life or you can spare someone.
Correct.
And it's just like there's rumors that the Air India crash that happened recently was actually a suicide by a pilot, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Now that's the stronger case.
That's the strongest thing, because he actively turned off the fuel pumps, which caused the plane to then crash. So
That's a mad thing, bro.
yeah, so these kind of roles, they do have this. Even at TFO as a train driver, they used to. They used to say you never really felt like they actually cared, to be honest. But Transport for London. So I used to work as a train driver, London Underground.
Okay.
And they used to ask you, when you checked on, like, are you fit for? And you had to sign a sheet to say that I'm fit for. And if you weren't, you could actually say, I'm not working today. Why? Because I've had issues. It technically wasn't supposed to be used in the future to discriminate against you, because it's a genuine, legitimate thing. But obviously you can't abuse it as well at the same time. But these things are important.
And also, you've got to look out for their well-being. That as in, you've got to look out for your team's well-being. Look, not everyone's able to do that. Me and Bakr have very different relationships in terms of how we deal with our staff. He does the accountability thing very well. He checks in with them, the main players in the team. He speaks to them daily, sets some targets, motivates them, blah, blah, blah. But he makes it clear. He's like, listen, guys, I'm a cold-hearted guy, bro. Right? I'm a cold-hearted guy. Literally, we've got a document which is like, this is how you use me. I'm not the emotional guy. Don't come to me with your emotions. I just don't understand it. I'm dead inside. I have an icebox where this heart used to be.
Not in those exact words, but to that effect.
And he says, go to Imran if you need that. Now,
If you need a shoulder to cry on.
yeah,
I'm not the guy.
and alhamdulillah, you know what? Even though I don't like to do that, because it's time, it's effort, but it's very high leverage. So when I sense something in my team, there's something that's going on, bro, I'm the guy to talk to them. And you know what? Alhamdulillah, bro, like it works. We've got a very nice dynamic. Like I'll speak with them. Like for example, there was a particular situation. One of the brothers on the team, he just wasn't opening up to Abu Bakr, and he was just performing terribly. Like as in, like he was performing in a way where it's like, bro, Assalamu alaikum next week if you don't fix up. And he just kept reoffending, and he just wouldn't open up to Abu Bakr. I got on the phone to him, but what's going on? Like just genuinely, like forget work, put all that kalam to the side, bro. I'm your brother, talk to me. And he just like opened up to me things that he'd never opened up to anyone. And then now, the guy is one of the elite performers on the team, Allah barik. And some brothers are having issues at home with their wife. Bro, talk to me, I'm here. And next thing you know, and by the way, you can't do that with everyone on the team. We don't even have a massive team, which is why we can manage it. But I guess what you would do if you have a bigger team like the ones you have, Sam, is that your managers,
the middle managers,
they do that, and then it goes.
And this is why you have, there's especially these Google, these companies, they've made sole roles. Like they've paid millions to companies and contractors to just come in and just talk to their staff about their problems, do yoga with them, do all this nonsense with them. I don't know why people just haven't aligned the two. Personal life is going to affect professional life.
Big time.
No matter how much you accept it, you fight or not. Like even recently, one of our staff members, right, just argued massive issues in his personal life. It's like, okay, what's your problem? Okay, what does it cost to fix? Listen, I just want you to be comfortable. I don't want you to have to worry. If this is what's messing you up performance, okay, it's taken care of. And when they see like this guy actually cares, like it's not just a business to him. Like that wasn't maybe the greatest decision for but it's care. It's actual care. Trust me, they will gun for your company.
We're talking about the carrot, but we're not talking about the stick. And I believe, because I've done this in the past, right? This has been my mistake, right? I just carrots. Hey guys, cry on my shoulder. Hey guys, bonus. Hey guys, let me pay you for like 6 months and you're not doing any work. Hey guys, you're not coming to work for 2 months. Don't worry, here's a bonus. I did that, yeah.
Sheikh, we have all faced that, right?
Yeah.
Because I think as leaders, one of our core key function is to develop other leaders.
Yep.
Every day, but the Fawaz always talks about it, 80-20, then become 85-15, then 90. Like you're always trying to find your replacement. Every day, the mission should be to finding my replacement, finding another leader, developing another leader.
100%.
But in the beginning phases, what used to happen to me, because I didn't have enough experience, like people skills and everything, so I used to pour on everyone, just like you, like pour out. But I used to pour on wrong boxes, wrong people, Then what I started doing, I have not fully finalized the system, but I have started writing. Like I'll actually look for traits first before I pour into them like my full-hearted, like, come on, man, what's going on? Like spontaneous, let's go for lunch. Let's have some nice shawarma and talk about things. I used to do that in the office, but I used to do that with almost everyone in the beginning. Then I created a system. Okay, because we have 300 plus people. So I really ran myself thin. 1 year was like the worst year because I just poured onto everyone and there was nothing coming in return and all this loyalty, all these issues. So few traits to look out for. For example, if I say something, I'll intentionally say something just to see who's a responder and who's an initiator. So for example, I would say, cannot think of anything right now. For example, man, it would be nice to have a go-to list of the restaurants we can go to in different pockets. Like I'm usually in Barsha, in Jeddah. Like it would be nice to have a list. Let's say like that problem is solved. I'm just saying as an example. Let's say 4 people hear it. I would look for the trait who responds to it, who initiates it, instead of waiting for them to me assigning it to someone specifically. Hey, can you actually do that for me? Instead of doing that, I'll say these random things in random meetings. No
worries, I got it.
Yeah.
Humility test. This is the most important test, I believe, and it's the first test every CEO should do in this company. Ask him to, I literally ask people, I goes, is there anything I'll ever ask you to do that you believe is low leverage to you? If he says yes, I'm not taking him on. I don't care if I'm hiring for what position, because I'm ready to do dirt for my company.
Yep.
You have to be ready to get dirty as well. We're ready. It's not, I'm not touching that. Or no, that wasn't in my job description. No, you can't have that mentality. So for me, one of the things that the first test I put people on, the reason for this is if you look at Robert Greene's mastery, what is the thing he says that kills people from getting up the scale to mastery? Ego. It's ego. If there's something that kills a man from climbing up the ranks and becoming successful in life, it's ego. So anybody around me, anyone who they want to bring to me, anyone who I employ or anyone, you have to pass the humility test. If you are not humble, if you don't come with that sense of like thinking, okay, if it's what needs to be done, I'm going to do it, then I'm sorry. There's no place for you on my team.
So what's the stick? How do you, like I said, we talked about rewarding these guys. We talked about how to qualify them. How do you punish? Because I personally believe that punishment is huge motivation as well.
There has to be contractual penalties, Sheikh. Like there has to be penalties in place.
What do you mean by that?
So, for example,
you fine your staff?
Yeah. For in our construction, 100%.
Yeah, just quickly.
You guys don't have fines?
It's on the list.
You know, for us,
it's in
if
the
somebody
pipeline.
doesn't do the end of day report of my key management staff, they 5% of their salary. Sometimes they miss 3 days. That's 15%. Poofed. Gone. Wallahi, and I don't play
They
with
miss 20 days, no
yeah,
salary
if
for
they miss
that
20
month.
days, it's peak. I tell them, I don't care what happened in your, even if you did nothing, you still fill out the end of the day report. And I'm telling you, I don't even, and I make them add up the days. It's fun. It's even enjoyable.
Sheikh, do you know what the penalty was for the Grand Vizier?
What?
It was executed after Constantinople was conquered. It was the first execution.
Yes.
There's penalties. Sheikh.
Yes.
You were the doubter on the day of the that too on the day of the. You're not supposed to be the doubter.
Yeah.
Because he's
You're my
probably,
right
you know,
hand man.
last night he probably started celebrating.
Mm.
There was he. Oh, in. He was told.
No, he was shaking probably. Sheikh. Like, I don't know. I doubted just today morning, and now we're in.
Yeah.
And I tried to tell the soldiers, guys, come on, come to senses. What are we doing? 50,000 of us are killed already.
So, again, he obviously.
That's getting rid of the poison.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
Important. Get rid of the poison.
Anyone who is toxic, who has. Okay, if there's one characteristic that should just be sacked right now, victim.
Victimize.
The victim.
Victim, I think, what is victim, Sheikh? For me, it is probably the same thing. Just always waiting for somebody to come and save you.
Yeah, and always
Lack of
complaining,
accountability.
and everything's happening to me, and
Like Fawaz needs to
no
like, do this for me.
accountability. But basically, the BITCH,
Sheikh,
the female canine.
I
in
don't
the
even
team.
think these people are to be considered.
Yeah,
You know, like these.
No, but
these,
so you
you know, like
sack him.
these guys are like smug of the F. You know, one of the wallahi, when you sign up to any you know, you can literally judge people who are successful and unsuccessful in life literally based off of this one thing. People who are successful, they have this extreme, flipping hell was my fault. Oh, how did I not see that coming?
accountability.
Every failure I've ever met in life, guess what? It's not his reason he's a failure. It's not him.
It's not my fault.
It wasn't him. He's been through so much. You don't understand shit.
Yep.
You should be considerable. You should take his feelings in. Validate.
Nah, I can't do that.
Fire him. Fire him.
Has
Get
to
rid
go.
of him. Yeah.
He has to go.
Get rid of him.
Trust me, those guys. If there was ever a situation where that saying "a rotten apple spoils the bunch" applies, it's this, bro. A negative employee,
Oof.
a Grand Vizier that's trying to cause mutiny on the day of conquest, but has to go.
Mm.
He has to go. But what's some other sticks at? So fine, penalty. What else?
I don't know if I can mention on the camera.
Oof.
I don't know if I
He
should.
gets the roast stick out. I love it.
I think you should.
I think take it out, Sheikh, because I don't want to, but I'll mention it to you, brothers. But
Okay.
definitely take it out. So,
Okay, let me tell you a secret. I have access to some of the greatest Muslim entrepreneurs and investors in the world that are alive today. And I've been thinking long and hard about how to give you a personalized experience with them. Finally, my team, alhamdulillah, has come up with a solution. Starting from today, every week, you will get your questions on scaling your business and halal investments answered by the best Muslim entrepreneurs and investors, inshallah ta'ala. Think of it like a podcast straight to your email inbox. Each email will give you simple but powerful insights on how to make more halal money. If you're interested, just subscribe at the link below, inshallah ta'ala. It's free. But
darkness comes out.
I just want to talk about how this can apply to the...
There, Sheikh.
I just want to talk about how these principles can apply to the household. Just very quickly. Recently, I've worked on a family vision, worked on a culture, on the family, and I'm trying to bring in all these other things as well, incentives and whatnot, carrots and whatnot, blah blah sticks, not literal sticks.
Your question was how do we apply that in the family, right?
Yeah,
Sheikh?
because
Sorry,
I think not literal sticks.
Man, if I just grab that to you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, it's cool, bro. We keep it addy. How can we apply this to the household? Anyone applied like stuff to the house? Because that's your core team.
For me, Sheikh, it's just 2 lines, like easy lines. Okay, for me, could be broad lines, but for me, these are just 2 lines. A lot of things fall under it. One is respect. If even there is like an ounce of disrespect I feel from far,
in the house.
It's done.
Big time.
It's done. Even if it's an ounce, like, even from the kids, it goes back to the mom.
Sahih.
Okay, so respect, number one line.
So this is like a universal principle in every household.
Yeah.
That's what, remember, even when we did
But people don't say it, Sheikh. People don't communicate that to with their spouse.
Even when we went through the Hadith Zara with Ustad Abdul Hassan, this was like one of the first classes we ever did back in the original Housing Center.
Yeah.
I remember he mentioned that this is a law, this is a principle, which is the wife, she wants love. The husband, he wants respect.
Yep.
If
You have
he
to love me,
receives
baby.
respect,
We have to respect.
he receives, if he receives respect, he will reciprocate that with love. When she receives that love, she will reciprocate it with
that
more
respect,
respect. Then it's a constant cycle.
Constant
But the opposite is also true.
Yeah.
If she shows him disrespect, he's
Love
showing
goes
less
on.
love.
Yeah.
Because she's getting less love, she's showing more disrespect. And then it's just a constant vicious cycle. So you choose which one you want.
Beautiful.
Second thing, Sheikh, real
Respect
quick.
is first, yeah.
Second thing is you have to evolve with me, with my mind.
Growth.
Because if you're mentally not evolving, it's just not going to work out.
How do you make that happen?
Watch this podcast. Then you'll know what I'm talking about. Read all the books that I'm reading. Listen to all the audibles I'm listening to, because that's the pace I'm going at.
I really believe one of the biggest problems
mad?
brothers don't do is they don't make their wife study. She has to study.
The same things you're studying? Or
Yes.
like if she can learn about parenthood?
that-
I got
Same,
books
but-
for you, by the way.
No,
that
just
will,
to understand the paradigm shift, because we're evolving and we're evolving rapidly.
Look,
Our thought process. And she
you-
could be,
absolutely,
like, for
you're right.
example, my wife knows me for a long time. Okay, so if she still thinks I'm the same Sam,
you outgrow each other, bro.
then we
Like,
have a
this
problem.
is a massive
I'm
point.
not the same Sam, not at all. If my friends from when I was 15 years old, so sorry, Chef.
No,
if
please,
if they
I'm so sorry.
meet me now, they're like, bro, is this the same guy we went to the high school with? And my wife went to the same high school. So if she's stuck there, if her memory is stuck of seeing Sam in the same high school, we have a massive problem. I'm just using extreme example. I'm even different from what I was when I had just moved to Dubai a year ago to what I'm now. So if she's stuck in when we just moved to Dubai, all the things I said we're going to do, but I've moved on. I'm done.
Very interesting.
But listen, we've spoken about this quite a lot, right? And the first time this piqued my interest, I remember Ustad Abdul Rahman, he done a program about 40 hadith on marriage or something like that. And he mentioned the hadith when the Prophet ﷺ would take a different wife on a journey every single time. He would never travel without one of his wives. And we make them draw lots to see whose time it is. And he mentioned, what's one of the wisdoms of this? He said, when you travel, you grow. If you travel and your wife doesn't travel with you, you will outgrow her. And then what happens when you're just traveling the world and you're seeing this, you're seeing that?
Come back to the home.
Yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now, you're completely different people. And I noticed that this was a massive problem in my house, bro. I was just growing. I'm learning Arabic, I'm learning Quran, I'm learning this, bro. Like, akhi, in my personal life, your personal life, all of us, every day I'm a different man. Akhi, uqsimu billahi azza wa jal, I'm learning new life-changing fundamental principles and laws in terms of deen and dunya every single day, if not every week at least. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying these are things that are changing my paradigm, changing. If my wife doesn't know, my kid don't know, it's a madness. A man wants his wife to support and memorizing the Quran for the child, but she doesn't know what's the vision. She's not reminded the vision.
That's the thing.
You need your version in the house of what Fawaz is saying he does every Sunday, what now I'm also doing after you've taught me every Sunday with my team, which is reinforcing the culture. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they have to be reminded of these things day in, day out. If you don't talk to your wife, actually, I think it's like, if you don't talk to her, like, I actually started doing this now. Like, I randomly start talking about conversations of things that I find interesting, even though in my mind I'm like, bro, why am I talking to my wife about this? I don't really want to hear her view on this. Probably is a boring conversation for her. But you know, I'm like, let me just do it because it will get her brain thinking. It will get her to start developing her mind. Yeah. I'll tell you something I did recently. So I'm starting a book club in the house. I'm starting a book club, right? I want everything in my life now. This is one of the things I've learned from Fawaz in terms of LBD, is just optimization. Everything just needs feedback loops. It needs growth, like just growth mechanism. I just want to invest all my time, my money in growth. So I'm thinking, okay, cool. What's the most highest leverage thing I can do to make things grow inside of my household? As I mentioned, last year was a turbulent year in my life. And I mentioned even in my married life, alhamdulillah, I've opened up with Fawaz in a lot of detail on LBD. Things are great now, alhamdulillah. But I want things to just optimize. So I'm like, what do we do? I want to start a book club in the house. What book club? Could be non-fiction, could be fiction. I went on to ChatGPT, got a bit smart here. I was like, all right, listen, chat, give me a book here. And I said, you know what, make it a novel, because non-fiction sometimes is a bit heavy, right? And maybe it could be a bit boring. So give me a novel, a classic novel that depicts an ideal woman. right? An ideal woman that supports her husband, that's charming, that's loving, that's endearing. Yeah?
You guess what the book was?
God,
What
you'll
did it
never
say?
guess it. You'll never guess it.
I have no idea.
You'll never guess it.
Is it modern or is it
No, I don't read modern novels. I only read classics.
like a fairy tale kind of, or like no, but
It doesn't matter. It's classics, but I don't really like the fairy tale thing. But basically,
of mice and men?
nah, brother. I'm not trying to marry Curly's wife. I'm not trying to Curly's wife who gets killed by Lenny. No. Subhanallah al-Azim. It came down to 2 books. Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. And I went yesterday to the bookstore and we both bought both books. Because in Pride and Prejudice, I've never read the book. And I never thought I'd read a book like this. But if it's going to help in the house, I'm going to read it with my wife. It's a story of a woman who is like a very charming woman, right? And it's a classic novel. Then Sense and Sensibility, it goes through the lives of 2 wives. One who's obnoxious, rude, stupid, and one who's loving and humble and charming to her husband. And my thing is, stories are a very powerful mechanism to communicate points.
100%.
And we're dealing with women. Like, I can't give her too much stats, facts, studies, even though she can take that. But it's like, a story's a nice story. Women love this stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to bring on something from like since Titanic, who's mashed up the women. No, I'm talking about back when there was a patriarchy. I'm joking.
No.
Books that were wrote in those days that show women how to behave.
Can we talk about this? Because this is important. Look, if you're not indoctrinating her,
Yeah.
she's being indoctrinated anyway.
someone else,
Like there's social media, there's online, there's keda. That's where they're learning from these idiots on how to be women, right? Women who don't understand. So for me, again, this learning. By the way, like I've dealt with brothers.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. The patriarchy thing was a joke. But sorry.
I've dealt with brothers who've come on a call.
Keep it there.
Who've come on a call with me, right? And they're like, yeah, I'm thinking of divorcing my wife. I get this a lot, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of divorcing my wife. Why? Big reason. And I done a video on this the other day. I got attacked, right? Typical. But he goes, the version of me she married, I'm just not that guy anymore. She's not ready to come to terms.
Exactly.
She's not ready to accept this. Like, I'm not that guy. I've grown.
That's his fault.
Yeah, 100% it's his fault. But you also have to understand, and this is why I tell brothers, make it clear to your wife that the man, and like, you know, a lot of the advice I give, like, look, with married brothers, the damage is already done. We help them one-to-one undo the damage. But especially the new, I'm telling, bro, just let her know, like, bruv, this is what it is now, but you have to go and develop on this journey with me. I don't have this isn't the destination. This is how I am now. I'm growing every day. We read more books than the average human being. We finish books. It takes people 2-3 months to finish books. We're finishing books 3-4 days, recurring, boom, boom, boom. Do you know the rate of growth, the conversations we have, the videos we watch, the people we're in contact with?
It's not even just the book, Zach. It's the book of life. You learn every day from things that you encounter.
This is my point. We're outside. We're having
Feedback
conversations
loops.
with brothers. It's like you don't understand. By the way, the growth that happens with a lot of the brothers here day to day, these are things that take brothers years to years to grow. Like year to year, they grow. So my point of what I'm trying to establish is if at home isn't aligned with you, you end up looking like, bruv, how the hell did I marry this, bruv? Like, how did man get here?
And that's why you're bored. And
Do you
that's why
understand?
you're bored with conversation.
And then
whatnot.
you're going to see other women and other things are going to be like, the vision. And then what happens? You get distracted. I'm telling you, wallahi, we've seen it.
Entropy.
Wallahi, we've seen it. Where it's
Entropy.
like the brothers now like, yeah, but you know, this is, and it's just, she just gets it.
Just 2 things that I think are important to mention, but because of running out of time, we've got to mention them very quickly. Number one is incentives in the house. I heard something from Sheikh Abdul Karim Khudair, which I thought was very powerful. He was like, you know, guys are always buying their wives things. You know, your wife's going to need a car. She's going to need a new appliance, new clothes. Like, there are always things that are outside the obligations that she needs. Because why don't you connect it to a target? Is that always connect these things to targets? Because don't just buy her something because she wants it. No. Say, look, you want that? The new car? Maybe even you spend a little bit extra on the new car. So, okay, memorize all of Hisn al-Muslim. You got 6 months. Memorize the adhkar from morning to evening. Okay, cool. This juz. That
Very good.
targets, or okay, get the daughter to this, or get the son to this, or do this, or you know, some people they're struggling to get their wives to lose weight. All right, cool. You know, stop eating the donuts, right? And you get this. my point is, brothers, especially brothers who are from, you know, like our kind of surroundings, they got money, but just put money on the table for their wife, bro. Incentivize them, make bonuses, bro.
And you know, another thing I've seen that's powerful, Sheikh. Well, like sometimes I give you the same example of my team. Sometimes I ask my team a topic or about something that I know, wallahi, the opinion on it, they don't even have enough knowledge on it or enough experience to give me the correct answer. But it sparks thoughts in their mind. And this is another thing that's powerful. You know what? I'm going for a deal. Just talk to your wife and talk about, babes, I'm going for a deal. You know what? There's these 2 deals on the line right now. One of them is offering me XYZ. The other one is offering me ABC. What do you think? Even if her opinion is batil, bravo, at least she's thinking.
Mm-hmm. And she feels empowered.
Yeah.
And research later. Like,
Exactly.
What's this mean? What does that mean?
You know what? I actually changed my mind. And I'm telling you, by the way, you know, one of the reasons why I tell brothers, like, with women, it's our fault, is they're not even that hard to indoctrinate. Cancel me, delete me. I don't give a rat's, right? If anyone is comfortable being cancelled, it's me. Women are so easy to indoctrinate, by the way. If a man just knows what he's doing, a woman is very, very easy to indoctrinate, which is why it's important as men as well to give your daughters, etc., to good men. Mm-hmm. Because a good man can make a woman great, and a bad guy can make a great woman turn evil. Do you get what I'm saying? So for me, it's all about how can I continuously warp these people's mind? Like, you know, people don't understand, like, you actually have to learn psychology as a man. You have to learn, I believe in the 3 knowledges we talked about, right, Sheikh? You have to understand how the world works. You have to understand how you work, and you have to understand how people work. If you study and master these 3 sciences, life becomes play, bruv. Becomes a game.
Last thing, question, the last point, talk about incentives. Punishment. Like, how do you punish in the household?
I'll leave these on to you guys, inshallah.
You withdraw.
You mentioned the Quran as well, yeah.
You withdraw. You withdraw a lot of standards, like that became standards, but actually they're not standards. They're much higher than people's standard.
So you downgrade the luxuries.
You downgrade the luxuries. You withdraw.
Mm-hmm. What else?
Yes, I said, mention the Quran, so boycott them, as in don't share the bed.
Remind them, boycott them, so on and so forth.
And you can even withdraw mentally, Sheikh. That's like the biggest withdrawal.
That's the scariest one as well, because once you're mentally
just
checked
like
out,
everything
so
is there, but they
in.
know that you're mentally not there.
And I think it's so important that when a man makes a line and a woman crosses it, he makes sure. So as a kid, I watched Jurassic Park. I'm not trying to say women are like dinosaurs, right? But as a kid, I watched Jurassic Park. I don't watch movies anymore. There's music, women, haram. So in the park, there's a massive electric fence. The reason why the dinosaurs could be contained was the fence electrocutes them if they get close to it. Dinosaurs always try. When they get close, you've got to have an electric fence in your house. I'm not saying, guys, electrocute your wife. Do you not misunderstand me? I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that there's got to be a shock, right, to the boundaries being overstepped. And if the boundaries are overstepped and you've done everything, and I mean done everything, and you've sought counsel and whatnot, bro, be ready to sack her. Be ready to fire.
Isn't it funny? We always have to give disclaimers after we say like completely normal things.
Guys are stupid. We're just going sack her. A guy's listening, just go and sack her, and it's his fault. It's his fault. You're going to say something.
Yeah, just one sentence. The best position in a negotiation is when you are ready to walk away at any time, right? It's the same thing with your wife. If you're not ready to walk away, you're not in a position of leverage.
How do you make her know that in her bones?
Just clip this part out. Just share. Like, this is what we brothers talked about today. Simple, Sheikh. Automate stuff.
On that note, guys, man, hopefully you benefit from today's discussion. You might have seen Brother Fawaz, mashallah, sharing a lot of frameworks. This is what he does. He upscales CEOs and gets them to perform better.
Benefited a lot, man.
A huge part of that is with the team. A lot of what I'm saying learned from him. We have our network of 7 to 9 figure entrepreneurs, inshallah ta'ala, it's launching the 6th of September. That's where you get access to brothers like Sam and a bunch of other entrepreneurs of the same caliber that you can get access and insights with regards to things like this for, inshallah ta'ala, in the future, man. So with that said, I got to love you and leave you, man. And look, don't be rash. Don't fire. Don't divorce straight away. Or at all, ideally. Usually, truth be told, hand on my heart, no exaggeration, the 99.9%, no exaggeration, 99.9% of problems that I've had in my household with my team, I can trace it right back to me. I'm not just saying that. So the problem is most likely with you. and do istikhara. Don't be rash. We ask Allah to give you strength.
Amin.
I mean,
That's it. Subhanakallah wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.
stop.